Well, good morning, Central Florida. My name is Tom Olsen, and the name of the show is the 11 Lawyers Radio Show, folks, and we are going to do something completely different, and I hope that you will stay tuned and give it a try. And here's what I'm saying, folks, that I have been doing radio for 25 years. For 25 years, I've been answering legal questions on the radio station, and folks, that adds up to about 1,400 radio shows and 20,000 legal questions that I've answered on the air over this last 25 years. One thing I have not done, I've never spent more than just a few minutes at a time talking about my personal feelings, my personal views towards our world and politics. And today I'm going to spend some time doing that. And be quite honest with you, what's happened today is we don't have a guest today, so I'm going to take this opportunity to share with you some of my thoughts and about what's going on today. And of course, I would always love for you to call on the air today and share your thoughts about what's going on in the world today. We're going to be talking a lot about Occupy Orlando. And hey, I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm sympathetic with these folks. And so let me tell you something about myself, and that is this, that I'm probably like a lot of people out there, and I have thoughts and feelings about what I see in the news, what I read in the newspaper, but I am typically not one to share with other people. I don't want to debate with other people about my feelings towards things. At the same time, I'd love for other people to tell me how they feel, whether it's along the lines or whether it's different than the way I feel. I love hearing how other people feel about things. And so today I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and talk about some of the things that I feel and about what's going on in the world today. And, we're going to see how it works. So 25 years doing a radio show, getting out of my comfort zone, so I'm doing something completely different. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to see, okay, when I'm doing radio here in the WDBO studio, I have no idea whether there are 10 people out there listening or whether there are 10,000 people out there listening. One thing I do know is that when I open up the lines and say, folks, call me with your legal question, we always get phone calls. That's always a good sign that there are people out there listening. And one thing I do know is that no matter what I'm doing, it is my obligation for you folks to do some brilliant radio to keep you tuned in. So one thing I can say is that as I'm speaking today, the more phone calls that I happen to get from you today, that will give me an indication that people are listening and have not tuned out. And with that said, again, as we speak about these things today, I would love to have your thoughts and feelings and impressions. No, I am not going to debate you. I am genuinely interested in what you're thinking out there. So folks, I am a lifelong Democrat. We'll start with that. If you said, Tom, sum it up in just a few words about how you feel about politics or your political views, it would be, I could sum it up quite simply for you, and that is this: I believe in live and let live. If my behavior is not harming other people, I should be able to do it, and the same for you. So live and let live, number one. Number two, I am a fiscal conservative. I am fiscally conservative with my own money. I expect my government to be fiscally conservative with the money that they get from me and all the other taxpayers out there. Has our government been fiscally conservative? The answer is no. When I had some good years a few years ago, when real estate was really booming and I own a title company and I got some dividend checks at the end of the year, I didn't take that out and buy a new Mercedes. I put that money in a savings account. When our government was doing really well, let's talk about the Orlando government. When property prices were up and real estate taxes were big and they had a lot of money, did they take that extra money and did they put it in the bank for a rainy day? I don't think so. And so now here we are when real estate prices are down, real estate taxes are down, and they're scrambling. So those are my views. Live and let live, fiscal, conservative. I think that's a middle ground that I think a lot of people that I think can relate to, I hope. So folks, as I'm sitting here talking to you about my views and my thoughts and my comments, and again, we're going to be focusing some on Occupy Orlando and the whole Occupy movement, I would love for you to call me in the studio if you hear something that's of interest to you, or you agree or you disagree. Hey, I'm looking for your phone calls. I'm not going to debate you folks. I'm genuinely interested in what you have to say. Phone numbers here in the studio, 407-290-0058, toll free 1-800-329-5858. Again, my name, I'm Attorney Tom Olsen. I've been answering legal questions for 25 years. First time ever today, November 20th, that I'm speaking to you about some things, thoughts, and feelings that I I am feeling. There is a term that I have recently thought to myself as far as our country, United States of America, folks, and it is this. It is collective soul. We are a collective soul. We must together as a community, as a society, have some common ground and think in terms of beyond our front door, beyond our front yard, beyond our city limits, and think in terms of what is best for this country to move it forward. Line is that they are very conservative in their politics, and that is not me. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I am a live and let live person, but I am fiscally conservative. Right now, there is no brilliant liberal talk radio because I guess at the end of the day, liberalness is boring. It's not divisive. So, hey, here I am to present it. Just maybe call it a liberal point of view, but liberal is a one-word definition, folks, and I get back to it. Live and let live is where I'm coming from, and fiscal conservative for me and for our government is where I'm coming from. So, folks, with that said, last night on a whim, on a nothing else to do, I've been reading about Occupy Orlando and Occupy movement for the longest time, and I went down, we're talking Saturday night, last night, I went down to Occupy Orlando to see view firsthand what's going on down there. And at the end of the day, I totally loved it. And so as I'm walking up here, I'm seeing this for the first time and seeing people, and they are friendly, and they are smiling, and they are happy to engage in conversation. A lot of them are young people, and that's okay. There are some older people there too. And please do not, I am not going to try and define the Occupy movement because I'd like to believe that it is a wide spectrum of our society as it should be. And if I had to kind of, in a sense, try and label the Occupy movement, it gets back to this term that is going through my head and my heart these days, and that is a collective soul. They are the beginning of a collective soul movement here in this country. If you said, Tom, well, who could argue? I will not argue. Most people would not argue or disagree that we have been the greatest country on earth. However, if you said, Tom, we have been the greatest country on earth and we will always be the greatest country on earth, then you, I believe, are being short-sighted and you are being naive. Things in this country are broken, and I can easily talk about politics, folks. Things are broken, and we as a collective soul must say, this is enough. We need to think in terms of what is best for our country, our society, our world as a whole. Okay, just taking care of myself and my family and my close friends, not good enough anymore. There's something greater going on right now. And that's what I'm saying. Now, with that said, a few years ago, we talk about politics, we talk about politicians, I would have laughed. And I would said, laugh while I'm saying these words. They will be the downfall to us all someday. I would laugh at politicians. These days, I don't laugh at politicians anymore. I'm scared of them. I'm scared. And here's, when we talk about the collective soul, folks, here's an issue and concern for me, is that people who are in power are not thinking about the collective good. They are thinking about how often they can enrich themselves and those around them. And so politicians are being bought off by lobbyists. We read in the paper, we see on the news last week, politicians using inside information to invest in the stock market. Nancy Pelosi being one of them, a Democrat. We won't stand for this anymore. I'm not going to stand for this anymore. I'm going to speak up. And this, again, is outside my comfort zone. This is not like me, folks. But today, I'm going to take that chance and tell you how I feel. Wall Street investors, okay, folks, they are getting wealthy millionaires and billionaires not based on hard work, but based on insider trading and who you know. And then I read about a well-known charity right here in Central Florida who we think for years we've heard how they do well for us, for the community, and now we hear how really they are enriching themselves. And I'm not going to mention her name. I'd like to, but it upsets me to no end because I have in fact been to one of their fundraisers and given them money. And now I hear how they're ripping off the government. And then I hear on the word on the street is go to their office building and look at the number of Mercedes and BMW sitting in their parking lots. They have forgotten why they are there. They are there to take care of themselves when it should be they are there to take care of our community. So these are some thoughts, folks. And so when, again, I went down to Occupy Orlando last night, I see these young people and I talk to these young people, and folks, I am totally sympathetic with their position. Okay, let's say this: I'm 55 years old. In my generation, and maybe 45-year-old people too, it was expected that we would do better than our parents would. We would succeed to a higher level than our parents would. Folks, just like nothing lasts forever, we may be at the end of that too. We have young people coming up the ranks, including my children, who are 21 and 26, who may not do better than I did. Not because they're not willing to work hard, but because others have ruined the system for us. They have taken advantage of the system for their own greed. Now, folks, when you talk about, oh, Tom, people, if they can go out and make $1 billion and they should make $1 billion, then I say right on. I am a private business person. I work hard all day, every day. I have a right to make as much as I can. I am making it honestly, folks. I like to believe I'm making it honestly one day at a time. When you put a politician in office and he is making a salary of $150,000 a year, and yet he comes out of office a multimillionaire, something is wrong. He's not making an honest living. When you talk about people who are running charities, who are making exorbitant amount of money, $500,000 a year, they are not working hard and honestly. When you talk about the Orlando Expressway Authority, what are the corruption going on down there? They are no longer looking, but they are not making an honest dollar doing work themselves. They are taking other people's money. And so that's my thoughts, folks. And I'm going to talk some more about Occupy Orlando when we come back from the break. Also, Rob Solomon is an attorney at my office, and he is down there right now. We're going to get him on the phone. Hey, folks, I am so pleased to see, well, I don't know what they're going to say, but we have Roberta from Lake Mary, Occupy. She's got no sympathy. Roberta, I'm genuinely interested in what you have to say, and we will get to you. We have Tom from Apopka, likes what I'm saying. We have Andrew from Titusville. He's got a politics comment. Folks, you're warming my heart by being at least receptive to what it is that I have to say, folks, and thank you so much for that. We're going to take a break. We will be back in just a few minutes. My name is Tom Olsen, and hey, I don't know what the name of this radio show is today, but I am giving my personal views on the world today, and I will continue to do after this break. Thank you for listening. We'll be back in just a few minutes.